just thought about at the conclusion of this session, the goal of this workout's been just to get blood flowing back in the muscle. You know, get myself in the groove again, even though I'm weak, and basically just see what I can do and do my best. One conclusion I've drawn, or one thing I want to reevaluate once I get my stamina and muscular strength back a little bit more, is that when I program after, I'm going back to top set style training, lower volume with usually kind of like a max OT protocol will be anywhere between the 3 to 30 rep range, which is kind of broad, but do top sets like I was doing on squats until, like when I was peaking last time, I've seen incredible results with low volume, taking sets to failure. Keep in mind, you can't do that style of training forever, it seems, but you could make it work if once you hit the end of your peak, you go back down, you drop the weight like 30% or something, and then you build your way up. That would be an appropriate way to do it, and that's how I think I'm going to build myself up in the next coming workouts, is by working up to top sets. Keep in mind, those top sets won't be all-time best, considering I'm coming back from being ill, but I think that's going to get me to the best place possible, because I've even realized today, when I was doing a set of weighted chin-ups, I had hit my 7th rep, and by the time I hit my 7th rep, the goal of the set was to be in 6 to 8 rep range. I hit my 7th rep. By the time I hit my 7th rep and lowered myself back down, my biceps and lats were more pumped and sore than had I done, 3 sets of T-bar rows or something like that. Now keep in mind, yes, I'm still coming back from being sick. I'm still a little bit under the weather, so that could be a factor, but I don't think overall training volume matters, like total volume of sets. Like let's say you did 5 sets of squats, you did 3 sets of stiff-legged deadlifts, 3 sets of rows, 4 sets of curls, whatever. I don't think total volume matters as much as we think. And a lot of times my mindset's always been, when building a base, you do the volume workouts, then you go, after you kind of get a little tired of those, you go into a peaking phase where you work on top sets, you try to hit all-time best, PRs like what you guys seen me do earlier, but, like earlier this year, I'm sorry. But the conclusion that I've drawn upon is you could keep a top set phase rolling all year and just scale back 30% when you feel that you're towards the end of your peak. Because that's pretty much what West Side Training, or like what Jason Blaha does on his channel. Yes, base building volume can be a tool, and I feel it's all I can really do at the moment, because I'm coming back off of being, kind of under the weather. But when I feel a little bit better, I'm going to go into some top set training, working up to 1 or 2 top sets per main lift, like on squats, deadlift, or bench press, and call it quits and do accessories for the rest of the workout, because I don't really think total training volume in terms of number of sets really matters quite as much as to what you put into it, because you see people doing this all the time. They go to gyms, you see them on their phone, and they're like, oh, I got 5 more sets left and stuff like that. But out of those 5 sets, are they really putting all they have into it to see gains in muscular strength and size? So the conclusion that I've drawn today, and I should have drawn this conclusion a while ago, is overall training volume, like total number of sets per workout, doesn't really matter that much, especially if you're not putting your heart and soul into the workout. Keep in mind, I don't think high volume training, like workouts where you do a high number of sets, is worthless. I don't believe that to be a case at all. I think it can hold merit. I think it can, especially if you, like a certain enhanced athlete and stuff like that can really see some gains, or a natural athlete can see some gains with it. But I think that a top set style training is going to be more beneficial for me to get into again, considering I hit my best numbers when I do a kind of training that's like that. But I'm going to ease my way into it. Obviously, I'm not going to hit my best numbers, running out the gate with it, especially after coming off of being sick. But I think when I feel a little bit better than I am now, I'm going to get myself into some top set style training and go from there, because I just see my best results with it. So the takeaway from today, and you can look at data on this too, you can even just look all over YouTube, even like Butenhagen's channel. He mainly does a top set of a given exercise. That's been his method for years. Overall training volume, number of sets doesn't really matter that much if you're not putting, the effort there. Because if the effort's not there, then, what is it? And overall, you should be making progressive overload gains anyway on your lifts. So that's the takeaway from today. I think that being sick, like I was, and it's the same thing with being injured too, guys. Like, I've been injured, I've been sick, and I think that you can learn things about yourself during that amount of time. You could, while you're using back into training, you can look back and be like, right, that worked really well. I was, hitting all sorts of crazy PRs when I did this or that, or make a dietary change, or a certain amount of training volume you were doing. Like, you can look back and kind of give yourself kind of a reevaluation, and I think that holds a lot of merit, and that sometimes that getting sick and getting injured can be beneficial to most of us that lift in some ways, because if we just keep on going on, aimlessly training, and sometimes we don't, get our plans together or look at our weaknesses and strengths, then we're not really getting ahead, So that's the takeaway that I have for today. Training volume, total number of sets, like I said, doesn't always matter as much as we think it does, and sometimes being sick and injured can sometimes be a good thing for us to look back and reevaluate on what we need to do when it comes to fitness. And this can also apply to weight loss goals as well. This doesn't always apply to weight training. This can apply to athletic performance goals, etc. So I hope that some of that helps. I know some of it was kind of rambly, as always, when I get on a thought train, but I hope that some of that can help you. So if it does, that's good.